Greetings from Eastern North Carolina vinyl community. Mr. Rick here once again with another part of the country albums. This week we'll go from 1969 to 1971, and some interesting notes there. So let's get started if we can. From 1969, rounding out the year here, I'll be honest with you, I have not heard this album as of yet. But I do like the songs on it. Your Time's Coming is one of the great songs he had out, and also Wind Me Up, and this old Fair and Young. I have a lot of his albums, and I enjoy listening to them too. That's from 1969, Fair and Young. This gentleman came out of Canada, and he wasn't that popular until 1970. And I remember when this song came out, I was about 12 years old, and it was one of my favorites of the entire year. Of course, I'm talking about Gordon Lightfoot, and If You Could Read My Mind. And that song was, I just fell in love with it. And the album itself is very good. It's got the Pony Man on it, which is a children's song that he wrote, and Sit Down Young Stranger, and just a whole bunch, Baby It's Alright, and several other songs. Gordon Lightfoot was a great singer, and we just lost him a few years ago, but he's got a lot of great albums out there. And that's from 1970, Gordon Lightfoot, If You Could Read My Mind. You'll have to excuse me, I've got a little bit of a cold this time, and my sinuses are kind of a little messed up. Johnny Cash, starting in 1968, he was doing great. These were his top years, 1968, 69, 70, and 71. And this is the album, Hello, I'm Johnny Cash, and that's how he opened up his television show every week. And he was on the air, I think, for just about a year. But this is another good album. This has got See Ruby Fall on it, and Busted, and I forget what the other hit was on it. Blistered. Blistered was the name of it, yeah. And that's Johnny Cash from 1970. Hello, I'm Johnny Cash. Another Canadian lady that got taken off in 1970 was Anne Murray. And this is her album called Snowbird, which put her on the top of the charts. And in this country, and I think it went to the top #1 position, I'm not sure, but it was being played on the country music stations, and it was also being played on the pop stations also. Snowbird, it's got Break My Mind, several of the top hits that were hits of that year. She puts her taste on it. But this also, if you get a chance, and you like Anne Murray, her first album is very good. Usually, though, as I keep saying, the early stuff from the artists seem to be the best to me. Then there was a team out there that, from what I understand, up to 10 years ago, they were still performing. And they put out an album called Birds of a Feather. And that's Jack Blanchard and Misty Morgan. Because they hit, if you're old enough to remember Humphrey the Camel, which was a big hit, and the Tennessee Birdwalk, of course, and that was a big hit for them also. And then they just kind of disappeared. They made other record albums, but I guess they were just like a lot of artists, they just could not continue. And there's the back of that one, if you can see it. Jack Blanchard and Misty Morgan, and it's called Birds of a Feather. In 1970, Columbia decided to release Roy Acuff's greatest hits. Roy Acuff, of course, had been a big hit from 1936 up to the 1940s, and he was one of the top country acts back then. And these are all original hits that came out from the years 1936 on through, I guess, around 1947 or 48. And if you like your early country stuff, back before the electric came out, this is one of the good albums, if you can find a copy. This is from 1970, and Roy Acuff's greatest hits. And he's got all his Lonesome Old River Blues and Oh, I Saw the Light and Fireball Mail and Great Speckled Bird and Wreck on the Highway and all those great tunes that he did way back in the 30s and 40s. Roy Acuff's greatest hits. Kris Kristofferson was going high back in 1970. He had written Johnny Cash's that big hit Johnny Cash had, and this is another Help Me Make It Through the Night for Sammy Smith, and another big record for her. Matter of fact, I think it was about the biggest record she ever did. She did a few other things, but this was her signature song, and Help Me Make It Through the Night. And it's got Saunders Ferry Lane, which was also a hit for her. She does a nice version of Lonely Street, and But You Know I Love You, and When Michael Calls, and just a good album. What can I say? Sammy Smith, her first album on the Mega label. Ray Price was hitting big in 1970. A lot of his fans were upset because he had stopped recording straight country music, and he had gone to a much softer sound. He had started singing in the lower registers of his voice, and instead of the steel guitar and the fiddle, he was now using the choir and the orchestra. But still having big hits, and this is for the good times. It was the only hit on this album, but it's a great album. Grazing and Greener Pastures and Lonely World and You Can't Take It With You, several good songs on it. And this is also a good album if you get a chance and you find this one from 1970, Ray Price for the Good Times. Lester Flatt and Earl Scruggs were on their last roads in 1970. They had just about done everything they could do. The new music that was coming out just did not fit the bluegrass sound that they had, and they were having a hard time finding ways to make a good album. But this is a Pickwick album, but it is called the original Foggy Mountain Breakdown, and it's the recordings that they made on the Mercury label, and this is authentic, good Flatt and Scruggs from the 1940s, basically, before they joined with Columbia. And it's got a lot of good songs, Rolling in My Sweet Baby's Arms, and Doing My Time, and Why Don't You Tell Me No, or Tell Me So, and several others. And I enjoy listening to that album. It's authentic. It's good Flatt and Scruggs. Well, now we'll jump up to the year 1971, and probably one of the top albums for the year. This is Loretta Lynn's Coal Miner's Daughter, of course. The only hit on this album, but it was a smash, and one of the songs that she wrote. And all the songs on it are good. That she wrote some of them. She does Conway Twitty's Hello Darling and Snowbird by Anne Murray, and For the Good Times from Ray Price, but she does a lot of her stuff too. And this is I enjoy Loretta Lynn, and that's one of her great ones, Coal Miner's Daughter. Excuse me. And then a young lady that got started in the mid-60s, or the late 60s, I guess I should say. She did some things with, several country albums. I can't think of the names right now, but that's Barbara Mandrell. And this is one of her first Columbia albums called Treat Him Right. And this little lady I tell you, she could play any instrument you've got. I've never seen anybody that can play as many instruments as she could on her television show years later. But this is a great album. It's got Do Right Woman, Do Right Man on it, which was a hit, Treat Him Right, and Break My Mind, which was also a hit for her. She does several other things on here. But that's Barbara Mandrell. There's the back of that one, if you can see it, the picture of her. She was a doll, there's no doubt about that. 1971, Ray Price up again. And this is an album he put out. Like I said, he was doing real good. I Won't Mention It Again. Another good Ray Price album. I'd Rather Be Sorry was on it. I think that's a Charlie Pride hit. and several others, but Ray was doing real good back in the early 70s, and this album, again, is an enjoyable album to listen to. It's, like I said, just a good album. What can you say? It's in the Ray Price style in the early 1970s. One of Johnny Paycheck's early ones from 1971. Friend, don't take her, she's all I got. Big hit for him. This is one of the ones that got him started. He'd been doing some things back in the 60s, of course, but when he signed with Epic and got with Billy Sherrill, they produced this album, and another good one. This is, of course, years before the Take This Job and Shove It, but a good album from Johnny Paycheck. It's She's All I Got. And then in 1971, a smash hit from Lynn Anderson. This is her signature album and her signature song. Let me back it up here so you can see it, if I can get the light out of it. Rose Garden was a good album. The story goes that she had a recording to go to the recording studio, and they didn't have any material. So her husband said, go by the record store and pick up some records or anything, and she had a file called Songs I Love, and Rose Garden by Joe South was in it. And her husband didn't think that the song would hit because it was a man song, but they recorded it, and what can you say? Boom, her biggest hit ever from 1971, and that's Rose Garden. Also a good album, too. Like I said, Lynn Anderson, one of her first Columbia albums. This guy was just making it, and then he committed suicide. He was a depressive kind of person, from what I understand, and he had had a couple of hits, but just hadn't quite gotten over the top, and that's Mel Street. This album is delicious. Borrowed Angel is on it, House of Pride, Angel with a Broken Wing, Loving on Back Streets. I mean, it's just some great country. And it was a shame we lost him so early. He didn't know what he had and just hadn't made it over the top. But after his death, a lot of his records just all of a sudden took off for the next year. That's Mel Street. He was a good one. He would have been a good one. And last but not least is this next gentleman. We just lost him 3 or 4 or 5 years ago. And that's Tom T. Hall. I was a big Tom T. Hall fan, and especially this album. This album, me and my brother, we had it on 8-track tape, and we would fight over who's, where's that Tom T. Hall album? It's in my car. Well, go get it. I want to listen to it for a while. That was and we were always swapping this tape back and forth because it was so good. It's got Homecoming on it, Shoeshine Man, I Miss a Lot of Trains, Salute to a Switchblade, The Year Clayton Delaney Died, and several others. And it's just a good country album. Tom T. Hall was really, really doing good, especially in his early years. And you can't go wrong with this album. Tom T. Hall's Greatest Hits from 1971. And that's it. That's what I've got for this week. Next week, I think we'll take a little break, and I'll break out some of my rock and roll albums, and we'll go through those and take a little break from the country, okay? And as always, if there's something that you want to see or something that I've got that I can show you, or a piece of information I might know, all you've got to do, of course, is leave a little comment in the comment section, and I'll get back at you. And until we meet you again, this is Mr. Rick saying that if the good Lord's willing and the creeks don't rise, we'll see you for long.